a British high court says Wikileaks founder Julian Assange can be extradited to the United States. The move overturned a lower court decision that Assange is too mentally fragile to go through the American penal system. Assange faces conspiracy and espionage charges for publishing thousands of leaked documents and videos related to the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. With more from London is CBS News foreign correspondent Charlie D'Agata. Hi, Charlie. So we did mention that a lower court had concerns about Assange's mental health. What factors did the higher court consider in overturning that decision?
Well, the lower court thought that those were real concerns and deep concerns about the fact that this man might commit suicide if he was held in a high-security prison. In fact, the highest security prison, the Supermax prison in Colorado. What the high court, or what the Justice Department did in appealing this decision, went to the high court and said, okay, he won't be held in that kind of prison. If he needs to have psychiatric treatment, psychiatric help, and counseling, he will be given that. And crucially and vitally, he'll be given visitors' rights, which he would not get in a high-security prison. And if he is found guilty during the judicial process, he can serve out that term in his home country of Australia. So the High Court decided that all of the decisions based on that lower court decision that he wouldn't be extradited, which had to do with human rights, were overturned. And on those basis, on those grounds, he should be extradited to the United States. It's worth pointing out here that at the time, even Assange's supporters were saying, well, wait, it's not really based on human rights or conditions that he's going to be in. It should be on the case at hand, which he's being held for freedom of information. He's a journalist, et cetera, et cetera. And it wasn't the reason that the lower court decided that he wouldn't be extradited. And therefore, it was relatively easily overturned once those initial concerns were addressed and turned into a way that the Assange can now be extradited to the United States.
So is there any chance that Assange's team can overturn that? Because, of course, he's not heading to the U.S. just yet. Is there anything that they can appeal before he's on American soil?
Yes. You know, Tanya, not by a long shot. I mean, immediately after the decision, his defense team, including his fiancée, said that they are going to appeal this decision, I quote, at the earliest possible moment, called Friday's decision a grave miscarriage of justice. So it now goes to the British High Court, the Supreme Court, the UK Supreme Court, pardon me, where that decision will be then passed. However, if it does not, if that appeal itself does not go through, it immediately goes to the Home Secretary, Priti Patel, who will then decide whether Julian Assange can be extradited. So depending on that decision, whether the appeal goes through, it could be as early as January that he's headed back to the United States. If it goes to the appeals process, it could take another 6 months at least before that appeals process goes through.
And then what are the next steps once Assange is in the U.S. if he actually gets extradited?
Yeah, well, I think it's hard to guess as to what's going to happen now, as to whether the appeal is going to go through to the UK Supreme Court, or we're going to have this hurry up where the Home Secretary will say, well, yes, there's every right that he should be extradited to the United States. If he goes to the United States, or when he goes to the United States, he faces 17 counts of espionage. And of course, this goes back to charges, as you mentioned in that lead-in, 2010, 2011, of WikiLeaks, of leaking hundreds of thousands of documents. And he could be tried for treason and for espionage. Sorry, not for treason, for espionage. And if he is found guilty of espionage, he faces a prison term of 175 years. But again, it had to do with the Justice Department assuring British high courts that if he is found guilty and sentenced to serve that sentence, he will be serving that sentence in Australia, his home country.
Charlie D'Agata in London, thank you so much.
Thank you.